Hello, this is the Diaspora panel, the voice of the diaspora. Thank you for tuning in. I have with me Mr. Lawal from Canada. Mr. Lawal, you are welcome.
Thank you for having me.
I have Mr. Olaitunde Digba from America. Mr. Digba, you are welcome.
Thanks for having me too.
I also have Mr. Demola Adesa from United Kingdom. Mr. Adesa, you are also welcome.
It's a pleasure being here. Thank you so much.
So I want to say a big thank you to you all. Thank you for sticking and staying with us. Please, if you are one of our viewers, if you are one of our regular viewers, and you have not yet subscribed, please click that button so that anytime we do the next video, you'll be one of the first people to know about it. And please, if you like our video, put the like button, share it, and put your comments so that we know what you think, so that we can respond, and so that you can help us to grow. So today, we want to discuss the Fulani Agenda for Nigeria, the secret jihad that no one is talking about. There has been a stringent contest for power between Nigeria's major regions and tribes since its independence in 1960. This contest of and for power led to the 1967 coup and the counter coup that led to the Northern Nigerian dominance on Nigerian political firmament. The North, having gained a firm grip on Nigeria's governance, developed a tacit agenda of Islamization of Nigeria, as they usually say that they want to dip the Quoran in the Atlantic. So in 1992, we saw MQ Abiola Esanana won a free and fair election, but this was annulled by Northern military and political establishment in order to retain and preserve their power. However, on the verge of a breakup in 1998, the Northerners decided to allow a hand-picked Southerner, Olusegun Obasanjo, to become the president. Then, having lost their grip on power since then, they have raised a secret army in the form of bandits and terrorists, Boko Haram, Miyetti Allah, to secretly push southwards to occupy and claim lands for Fulanis that are continually streaming into the country from neighboring West African countries. In the Christian Middle Belt of Nigeria, these Fulani herders have massacred thousands of indigenous people, burnt their homes and villages, and then occupied the land. They are still pushing southwards. In Quoran State, we were told how their Yoruba Fulani governor dismantled an effective Amotekun vigilante group to set up a vigilante group composed of Miyetti Allah. And shortly thereafter, the Miyetti Allah group called upon their Fulani brothers from the north of Benin Republic to invade Kwara State. Hundreds of lives and properties were lost. So let me start with you, Demola. This Fulani agenda is well known by everybody in the south of Nigeria, in the middle belt of Nigeria. There's nobody in that country or in this country that will say he doesn't know the Fulani agenda of domination, of Islamization. The question I want to ask you, Demola, is why are the Obas in the south, the traditional rulers in the middle belt, all the politicians, all the leaders, why are they mute? Why are they not talking about this, Demola? Are they afraid? What is the problem?
Okay, thank you, Deji. The South leaders, both the traditional rulers in the Southwest, in the Southeast, and South, it's not that they're afraid of any. They have their own identity. They respect their identity. They protect their identity. And they are holding on as much as possible. But the power that the Fulani have is beyond their ethnic ability. It's not because they are more powerful than any other tribes. It's because they always have the upper hand with instruments of leadership in Nigeria. It's the federal might that they are using. It's not their traditional might. Even in the north, the Fulani are minority. The major and the most popular, most of the other tribes, which include the Fulani, the Hausa, the Chief, the Kanuri, Igala or Anidoma, the Gbayi, the Shuba, the Shua, the Shushua Arabs, all these other ethnic groups are almost non-existent. Even the Hausa that actually fought for the Hausa Empire, which Uthman Dafodo eventually inherited, are the backboners. They are not recognized in leadership, but they are always the ones that are being used to perpetrate and to effect the dominance and the authority of the Fulani. And one of their major weapons they use to subdue most of the northern tribes is to intermarry. They intermarry, and but they will make sure that it's only the Fulani that lives. So also they are doing the same thing even in Southwest now. They are intermarrying with some of our traditional rulers and influencing our traditional chieftaincy. And this is one of the things, even they also do it, try to influence chieftaincy in other regions, including the Southeast and South-South. So they are bringing everybody under their control, under their influence, using the federal might and distribution of federal resources to subdue others. That is why you see most of our traditional leaders going cap in hand to Aso Rock to see those people and to be able to share from the federal treasury. And these people are selling their tradition, they are selling their customs to the influence of the Fulanis.
Okay. Thank you very much, Demola. Laita,
Yep.
I'm coming to you now. So we have never had a king from Yoruba land or from Igbo land or from the south of from anywhere. Maybe some of these kings in the some of these king and politicians, like Otom, for example, have been saying it's a Fulani problem. Otom, former governor of Benue, and a few other that have been saying they've been confronting them. But why are the traditional rulers in the southwest, the Yoruba traditional rulers, the Igbos, why are they all silent as if they've been captured? Have they been captured?
None of them. Thank you for that question. I believe none of them, is captured. But you know, Nigerians now, everybody they are sneakers. Nobody is not. Everybody when they know they want to get something from you, they can go to any extent to placate you, even though you are doing something good. Something bad. None of them are. Yeah, they will be telling you that is the best thing that you are doing. None of them can confront Buhari except late Akeredolu. They said, no, what do you mean? Let us establish Amotekun in Southwest. If Buhari has, we have residual power to do whatever you like, right? They have exclusive power in the center. So he was the only person that came out to say, no, we are federating units, right? We can do whatever we like in our state, right? That was when they came out to be doing Amotekun to congregate again. None of them, none of the governors, they had faced Buhari because they know that they will not give them maybe multi-allocation, right? Or they will not give them preferential treatment. Everybody they are all doing nice service now. Even though they are killing people in their even this guy in Ibadan, he said they will tell a lodge, the Oyo State governor. He said they will tell the Lord 2 miles from there, they are killing people, and you are the security officer of that state. You cannot ask police to dislodge all those bandits.
Fulani police.
Yes.
Fulani police.
Fulani police, yes. They came to Ibadan. They arrested them. They brought them to Ibadan. Immediately they got to Yagoku. They free all of them. You dare not say anything, right? None of them can confront because all of them knew that is what Buhari wanted. That they want Islamization of Nigeria, and nobody want to confront Buhari because they don't want to incur his wrath. That okay, Buhari might not be well disposed to leave because Buhari they've been saying that they should release it. Attorney General Malami will say release him immediately. You arrested Fulani because they believe that they are the most powerful in Nigeria. They are in the minority, but they are the most powerful. Right? So there's nothing anybody, nobody can confront them. Then nobody wants to go against Mr. President. Nobody, and they did it so well, perfectly scripted. The soldiers, they are there. The Navy, they are there. They are the head, right? They are all the senators in the northern part of Nigeria, they are Fulani. All the governors that have been coming, they are Fulani. All the rep, they are Fulani. So how many outside do you see there? None of them.
Okay.
So nobody wants to go against them. Everybody, they want to popularize all the whole country. The way they popularize the whole northern part of Nigeria, they want to popularize the whole country and be giving them stipend. So they can be saying, they can be doing high service to them. That is it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lata. Shukwa, let me come over to you now, okay? So we know that Buhari, the late Buhari, the former president, he pushed that agenda so much during this 8-year reign, in that we saw how they tried to overrun the Southwest. It was Sunday Igboho, a patriotic Yoruba man, who stood up for Yoruba land and went to go and confront them and checkmated them at the Gogon. If not for Sunday Igboho, somebody like Akeredolu, the former governor of Ondo State, who started Amotekun, Yoruba land would have been non-existent now.
Yes, yeah.
They will have overrun the entire Yoruba land. So, Shukpo, if somebody has been pushing an agenda for over 60 years, you want to conquer a region for 60 years, and you've tried, during that process, you kill MK Abiola because you don't want MK Abiola to become president. You killed him. And during that process, you planted so many coups to make sure that everybody in power is Muslim. And you've not been able to achieve that aim. Do you think that this will ever happen? Will the Fulani at some point, as they are thinking in their head, will they succeed in overrunning Nigeria and making Nigeria become an Islamic state?
The unfortunate answer is yes, unless Nigerians stand up, unless leaders, traditional rulers, and politicians also stand up. When you were talking just a few minutes ago, you said Sunday Igboho stopped them. Where were the governors of those other states? What were they doing? Absolutely nothing. Did any of the traditional rulers in those states, did they stand up to protect their people? They didn't do anything. And that is eventually what will happen if people in authority, elected officials, don't stand up and perform their responsibilities. They will run every part of the country over, and everybody will be under their dominance. Now, there are very specific things that I think the government can do. I think the first thing that the federal government of Nigeria should do is to ban all herdsmen from carrying weapons. Is to have a nationwide ban that any herdsman seen publicly carrying any form of weapon, AK-47, whatever, should be arrested and their cattle should be immediately confiscated. That's the first one. The second is to stop open grazing across the country. You know, Nigeria is probably still one of the few countries in West Africa where that practice remains widespread. In Ghana, open grazing has been banned countrywide. The government has actively enforced laws restricting free movement of cattle on foot through farmland. In Senegal, a new pastoral code was adopted in 2023, and the state began regulating grazing areas and vehicle-based cattle movements rather than unrestricted open grazing. In Benin Republic, authorities reserved large tracts of land, about 6,000 hectares in 2022, dedicated to sedentary livestock farming and moved to restrict traditional open grazing. In Nigeria, in the I think it's the Asaba Declaration, in the southwest, southeast, and south-south regions, all 70 states resolved in May 2021 to ban open grazing and movement of cattle by foot. Why is it only in the south? That ban should be effected nationwide.
Thank you.
This will stop immediately, all kinds of, herdsmen, farmer, riots and activities, and will actually curb, these herdsmen from perpetuating their activities. These are things that the government can do
Yeah,
today.
it will checkmate their plans. It will checkmate all the plans
will
of taking
checkmate
land.
their
Yeah,
plans.
to checkmate all these
Yeah.
plans. Yeah.
And finally, any form of religious intolerance, particularly in Northern Nigeria, should be met with very stiff consequences. So if you say you have a caliphate and you have, people that are, embarking on activities that will be intolerant, like burning churches, stoning people, then if that happens, you will lose your caliphate. The government should step up and do these three things, and that, at least at the foremost, will curb the activities of these, marauders,
Okay.
these
Thank you.
barbaric marauders,
Thank
and
you.
will checkmate them.
Thank you very much, Shukwa. Let me come back to Ademola. So Shukwa has touched a nerve there now. It's made a bit of suggestion, which I think is very, very reasonable. So the question I wanted to answer, Demola, is that it looks to me the reason why the Fulanis have been able to get away with so many things is that some of the politicians and leaders, kings in the south, in the middle belt, because they are feeding from the government, because they are getting the crumbs falling down. So they are not able to speak up because of the little crumbs they are getting from their masters. I think that's why they are not able to talk. That's why they've not been able to enforce open grazing. That's why, not open grazing, they've not been able to stop open grazing. That's why so many things have been going on. So, Demola, do you think that, as you could have said, the federal government right now needs to step up? The time for being indolent, for keeping quiet and behaving as if, just let us get on with it. No, that time is past. The Americans have now told us, if you look at the conditions Trump have said, have given to federal government, is that, you have to stop these killings. So do you think the federal government should now step up? What do you think they should do?
The federal government will love to step up. But what is the composition of the federal government cabinet? What's the composition of the federal government parastatal and ministries? Who are making decisions down the line? They are mostly Fulani. So it's not as easy as you are saying. But it doesn't mean that there should be no resistance. The utmost power still lies with the president. And if we cannot make the reform now, I don't think the reform will ever be made in Nigeria again. Resisting the Fulani hegemony is not something that you can take that easy. They strive on divide and rule. That is the theme they inherited from the British. They divide everybody, they lure themselves on you, and you don't have a unified force. That is why the North, the other tribes in the North, are not able to make any headway.
To fight back.
Because up right to their local government or even to their ward, the head, anybody that need to be the head, it will have to be Fulani. Fulani will not succumb or subservient to any other tribe. So in their local government, it's the Fulani that will have to be the chairman. In their state, it's Fulani that have to be the governor and the house leaders of the house. So all the local government, all the emirates, all the traditional leaders there are headed by the Fulanis. Even in those areas where there belong to other tribes. So also, we have resisted them in the past. In 1840, by history, when the Fulani want to overrun Osogbo, Osogbo had to ask for the support of Ibadan. In the Jalumi War, Ibadan have to destroy, and the cavalry of Fulani were dumped into the Osun River. They were actually defeated, and that is what checkmate them from running over Yoruba land. When we divide, we have this problem. That is what Afaja did in Ilorin. Afaja is the owner of Ilorin. Because he doesn't want to be accountable to the Alaafin, he invited Alimi to assist him in rebellion against the Alaafin. So, but what happened? Alimi eventually took over Ilorin from him.
Mm-hmm.
We need to speak in one voice. We need to unify ourselves. We don't have anything to gain by being subservient to the Fulani. Our Yoruba leader need to stop to uphold. So also the Igbos do not allow the Fulani to have much influence in the East. That is why there's no Islam as much in the East as you have it in the Southwest.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Demola. Lighton, let me ask you. This is going to be your own last questions. So, if you are beside the president now, and you are seeing the problem on his table, you are seeing what the Americans are saying, you are seeing behind what everybody is saying, Nigeria has a Fulani problem. What will you be telling the president to do right now?
Yeah. I will first advise the president, Mr. President, right, to call the Fulanis on the round table, right? What we need at this material time in Nigeria is all land must be on deck. The incessant killings must be stopped. The idea of Islamization must be raised from their mind. There should be, the idea of inviting the people from the neighboring countries should stop henceforth. Nobody must come to this. Anybody come to the Nigeria legally, they should be jailed. Now they should do ID. They should give us number, like any number. All this number they give us. Everybody, it should be digitalized. Everybody, when they stop you, they can know where you are from. Anybody from all this country, the president should make sure that they send them back to their country. And if you come again, you should be jailed. anybody, nobody should come to Nigeria and be fomenting trouble. I'll be killing people in the name of religion, killing people in the name of we wanted to annex their country, their father's land. You turn them into slaves in their father's land. You send them into ID camp. It's unheard of. I saw how they are killing Christians. Initially, I was thinking that they kill Christians, but I saw the numbers of Christians they kill is more than the Muslim, right? It was so the agenda, the Fulani agenda of Islamization led to all these stuff. So it has to stop, right? All the people who are afraid. We knew that when the Fulani were there, they were doing whatever they like. But it has to stop. You cannot just take laws into your hand.
Thank you.
And you swore to protect the ultimate goal of the government is to provide security for the state, for the citizens. So you have to protect these people from being killed. To the extent that the outsiders you have to be intervening in killing in the affairs of Nigeria. So it has to stop. Thank you.
Thank you, Laita. Shupo, this will be the very last question. So you made some very brilliant suggestion, and I want to call your attention to something. One of our viewers commented, and he says that the best way to solve Nigeria's problem is to go back to the regional structure. Let's have the Northwest, the Southwest, the North Central, the Northeast, the South-South, the Southeast. And let every region control their resources, control their population, have their own government within that federation. It's a kind of confederation. It's like we're having 6 countries inside one commonwealth of country. So that the idea of somebody taking cow from Kano and say it's going to Ibadan will not exist because you will not be able to cross that border. So do you think that this is an option for President Tinubu? Do you think it's time to restructure Nigeria back to the regional structure, this time around on 6 regional structure?
Well, I think that will solve some of the problem. So I think, for example, going back to the regional structure will drastically reduce the cost of governance dramatically. I mean, we will collapse, almost 30-something state house of assemblies into, 6 regional, house of assemblies, so to speak. And it will also address some of the problems of movement of cattle by foot across regions. But I think it will, without dealing first of all with the issue of the Fulani agenda, the religious intolerance, and the agenda of Islamization of Nigeria, it will also result in another problem. And that problem is that the northern regions, if you now hand over to a full Fulani political elite, will practically open up that northern border for many more herdspeople or terrorists to come into northern Nigeria. And it may start from the northern part of Nigeria. We don't know where it is going to end. So even if you have that regional structure, so I think the regional structure is a good way to begin, because that will solve some of our current structural problem, and it will encourage each region to depend and to look within, to develop itself and to develop its own people. But federal government also needs to, at the same time, stand up to its own responsibilities, and part of that responsibility is to control immigration, to have a firm control of the country's borders. Border control cannot be left to regions to do. It has to be done by the federal government to ensure that a consistent set of rules is applied across board. That is one of the things that has to happen. And in the same token, the armed forces also need to be under the control of the federal government so that there can be a balance across regions. We won't end up in a situation where it's all a Fulani controlling all of the armed forces. That should not happen. So I think it's a dual approach, beginning obviously, with dissolving powers to the regions so that the regions can take more ownership of resource control. What you will see actually happen is some regions will develop probably faster than others, and then the citizens of those other regions that are still largely impoverished will start asking their own elected officials what they are doing and why they are lagging behind.
Thank you very much. So we come to the end of these deliberations. I want to say a big thank you, Mr. Olalawa. Thank you for coming today.
Thank you for having me.
And also, Mr. Ademola Bisa, thank you for coming today.
Oh, thank you. It's nice being here today. Thank you so much, our viewers.
And also, Mr. Olaitan Adedigba, thank you for coming today.
Thank you for having me today. Thank you very much.
And to all our viewers, please, if you have not yet subscribed, please click that button now so that when we release the next video, you'll be one of the first people to know about it. Please share this video and put a like on it. We hope to see you in the next video. God bless you. Goodbye.